Welcome to Open Up Relationships. Before we continue, make sure you subscribe to this channel. We regularly upload high-quality videos. You can like this video to support the channel. I, 29 female, keep finding long hairs in my bathroom, which is strange because my husband, 32 male, is bald and I have a short pixie crop hairstyle. Typo. Husband is bald, 32M. Using a throwaway account because reasons. This started a few weeks ago. While cleaning the bathroom, I found a number of long hair strands over my bathroom wall by the shower. This struck me as very odd because not only does my husband not have hair, I also wear a very cropped, short hairstyle. So, it's impossible for the strands I found to belong to either me or my husband. Confused, I washed them away but couldn't stop thinking about it. I decided not to mention it, but kept looking out for them. There seems to be a pattern that there's hairs appearing when I'm either at work or out for a longer time period. I feel like I'm going crazy and feel like I shouldn't just immediately go to my husband cheating on me with a longer-haired woman. I asked my husband about it, and he just shrugged. Which makes me more paranoid, as surely this is something that's strange, so why is he so blasé about it? I'm starting to think he's playing it down to stop me from finding out the truth. It happened again 2 days ago and I asked my husband again. He dismissed it, but this time admitted it's strange, but told me the only explanation is that they must be my hairs. They are not, and after saying so, now he'll just ignore me if I bring it up. I don't want to assume my husband is cheating on me and accuse him of such over something so ridiculous, but I'm driving myself into the ground trying to work out how the hairs have got there without my husband dismissing it as nothing. During lockdown we haven't had any visitors, that I know of, so can rule out his sister. TLDR, I believe my husband is cheating on me because I keep finding long hairs in the bathroom, which can't possibly belong to either of us. Now here are some top comments and replies. Start collecting all the hairs until one day you have enough of them to create a persuasive wig out of it. Once you have the wig, wear it and sit in the living room with your back facing the front door. When your husband walks through, pretend to be the mistress and record his reaction with a hidden camera. If he is confused as to who is in his living room, he's not cheating. If he says, "What are you doing here?" you got a problem. Hope this helps. Do you do your laundry at a public laundromat or share washers and dryers with anyone? Or is there anyone you have been in contact with during this time that has long hair? Well, unlikely. That may explain finding hairs once or twice. But if it's recurring, especially in the shower, I don't think you are unreasonable to be suspicious. Yes. Or if you had long hair at some point in the past year. I cut mine off in March, and I'm still finding my own long hairs in clothing, and around the house up until we moved. I would look for color and thickness as an indicator as to if it is yours from the past or someone else's. Update. I ultimately decided against getting a secret camera set up because, ironically enough, I didn't want to betray my partner's trust. Though part of me wanted to get one to squash any worries of someone living in my walls, as per some comments said. I did though plan to leave work early, which is something I've never done before. My boss allowed me to leave after a half day. Upon returning home, nothing seemed amiss. I was expecting another car on the drive or parked outside on the street. There was no other car I didn't recognize. Quietly letting myself in, I was immediately confused. In the hallway, there was a pair of shoes I didn't recognize, and not only that, they looked like men's shoes. Standing in the hallway trying to work out what to do, if I should sneak around or make my presence known, before I could decide, my husband walked out of the kitchen with 2 cups of tea. By my husband's face it was obvious he was surprised to see me. Playing along with naivety, I asked my husband how he could have known I was coming home early to make me tea. Expecting my husband to lie, he surprised me by sitting me down and explaining everything. At the beginning of lockdown, his friend, someone I'm not all that close with because only met once, was evicted, lost his job, and had been couch surfing. So, for some days over the past couple of weeks, this guy has been traveling to our house, and with the acceptance of my husband, using our bathroom to freshen up to attend interviews. He was also borrowing shirts and suits from my husband. As it turns out, my husband's friend has long hair and a beard. So, it turns out my husband isn't cheating on me, but was hiding the fact his long-haired friend was coming over to use our shower. After his shower, I ended up meeting Dave, and he turned out to be a very nice bloke just down on his luck. I wished him the best for his socially distanced interview, and he went on his way. I asked my husband why he didn't just tell me, as I wouldn't have had a problem with it. Turns out he was worried about my reaction and me not liking his friend or approving of the situation. He also told me Dave was very embarrassed about the whole situation, and didn't want people to know what he was having to do. I told my husband I was starting to believe he was cheating, and he was shocked, having not even considering those implications while attempting covering for his friend. I told him this whole thing was ridiculous, and even suggested his friend live with us until he's back on his feet. Funnily enough, my worst case scenario, which was mentioned in the replies, was either a homeless man or woman living in my walls, and sneakily using the shower. And though this seems to be half the case, I'm glad it wasn't a stranger as such that wasn't unwelcome and someone that wasn't living in my walls. Now here are some top comments and replies. As the person who has been down like that before, it is kind of embarrassing if you've lost everything and just want to get back on his feet as discreetly as possible. Dave might have been couch surfing, but if he needed to use their shower and bathroom, he was probably in actuality homeless, and just wasn't telling Op's husband. It's respectable to try and get back up on your feet and not feel like you're bothering everyone. There's probably more to Dave's story than Op is stating or even knows about. Hello. Your husband is fucking a man. Probably. Hey honey, I have no idea why there's long hairs around the bathroom. Oh, wait, no, it's this guy I keep inviting over only when you're not around for long periods of time, and who showers at our place each time. But yeah, no, don't worry about it. It's nothing but something enough that I didn't tell you, but it's nothing. Girl. r/marriage. I finally told my husband I wasn't attracted to him. My husband was overweight when we got together, and I had accepted that and committed to him regardless. The attraction I had for him was always less physical and more about being drawn to who he was, and how compatible we are as partners. But once he got past a certain weight, it became more difficult to ignore. Crappy eating habits, no exercise, and a family history of diabetes started to worry me. I expressed my concerns for his health, gently, over a period of years. I never wanted to hurt him by bringing up the sexual aspect of it. Recently, I decided it was time to be completely honest. I had reached my tipping point, I guess. I still dreaded hurting him. But aren't I worth a little effort? I wasn't asking that you become Captain America overnight. I just wanted him to try a little. I was so afraid of this conversation. I knew it was going to result in hurt feelings and become a point of contention for us forevermore. He was patient as I explained through tears how difficult things had become. And then he cried too. But not because his feelings were hurt that I wasn't attracted to him. He said he was most upset because I had held this in for so long, and hadn't come to him with it. Wasn't he my best friend? Isn't our marriage about being completely transparent with each other? How awful for me that I'd had to go through this alone. His response blew me away and humbled me. I'm ashamed now of what little faith I had in my man. The very next day, my incredible husband joined a gym. He's lost 25 pounds. For me. And he said how happy he is to be doing something that makes me feel so loved. I can't believe how lucky I am. I know that conversation could have gone so differently. And I know his way will likely always be a struggle for him. But I realize it's not the pounds he's losing that are making me so attracted to him again. It's the mere effort he's putting in that's making the difference. Also, I want to just emphasize the last sentence in my post. The thing I would want married people to take away from this is that we should all be putting in effort for each other. I don't expect or demand my husband become some svelte bodybuilder. Compassion will remain a focal point in our relationship. My husband humbled me by not dwelling on hurt feelings that he would have had every right to, but rather that I was going through something he could help with. I do of course hope this will be a change in lifestyle, for health reasons, but I'm going to focus on the love and pride I feel for his reaction here at the start. Now here are some top comments and replies. It's a nice gesture, but I admit it gives me a tinge of sadness. I wish it ended with how good it felt to do something nice for himself, and how much better he felt. It's good that your husband loves you. Self-love is good too. I wish you both health, love, and joy. There was a similar thing with my wife and I. I was at a healthy weight when we first married, but I grew to over 300 pounds, also family history of diabetes. I felt the same when my wife admitted that her attraction to me had gone down. If she gained weight, I wouldn't be as attracted, though I'd still love her with every fiber of my being. I felt sad that she didn't feel like she could be honest with me right off that bat, although I realized she probably just hadn't thought it through herself. Now, I'm about 15 pounds down and excited to keep going. I had this same conversation with my wife, and it led to almost a year of contention and anger towards me. Recently though, my wife came to reality and realized she was on an unhealthy path. She is working out and eating much healthier, and has lost 40 pounds. I think this is harder for a woman to receive than a man, perhaps. Never be afraid to speak your truth, and never give up on the people you love no matter what.